To introduce our sixth and final honoree is Doug Root, Communications Director at the Heinz Endowments, another one of tonight's wonderful sponsors. Thanks, Rick. I think it's fortunate, really fortunate timing that this event is happening at the end of April, with memories still fresh about how critically important volunteerism is to how we define ourselves as a country and how we see ourselves as Americans. After all, it's been a really tough month for volunteers, right? There are the emotionally wrenching images taken within minutes of the Boston Marathon bombing, doctors, nurses, community residents, running club members, and so many others. Volunteers doing the grunt work required for a successful race, and then suddenly they are volunteers running toward danger to assist in a life and death crisis. And there are similar stories told about the volunteer firefighters and paramedics in the West Texas fertilizer plant fire and the thousands of volunteers working to save communities along the Mississippi from rising floodwaters. In these dramatic events, the character of people who become the volunteers are called to heroic service, and that's celebrated. But the real work of volunteerism, the lasting work, as we all know from the stories we've heard here so far tonight, rarely gets tied to such drama. It is plotting, behind the scenes, and mired in details. The stories are about missed meals, and hours of meetings and hunts for funding, and the doing of the mission. And that's why we at the Heinz Endowments, and our board chair, Teresa Heinz, especially, who has been a member of the board of selectors for the national awards, have loved being a part of the Jefferson Awards program. It allows all of us to recognize the huge quality of life improvements that happen every day, outside the spotlight, at the community level, legions of volunteers dedicated and so creative in finding ways to fulfill their missions. And speaking of creativity and dedication, at the top of that list has to be our sixth honoree, Jamie Holmes. As someone who has been fortunate through the luck of the draw to be blessed with good health, and some of you out there are in the same position, I'm only totally in admiration of what this woman has accomplished dealing with life-threatening illness for much of her life. Since birth, she has had a rare disorder that has led to disintegration of one of her kidneys and other organs, and she has undergone some 30 surgeries to reconstruct her esophagus, trachea, lower intestine, and to fuse several vertebrae in her spine. Despite the medical ordeals, and because of the difficulties she's faced, Jamie founded an organization called Jamie's Dream Team. Her mission is to lift the spirits of those who are handicapped, disabled, terminally ill, severely injured, or suffering from a serious medical condition, disease, or trauma. Jamie spends 30-plus hours per week running the organization that has fulfilled the dreams and desires of more than 500 children and adults over the past 7 years. Jamie and her team have sent families to Disney World, NASCAR races, Fenway Park, and even sent music fans backstage to meet Kiss and the Canadian singer Avril Lavigne. Please, why don't we run the video and we can learn more about Jamie now.
My name is Jamie Holmes. I founded Jamie's Dream Team in 2005. We grant dreams of terminally ill and severely injured children and adults, or anyone suffering from a serious medical need. I was born with a Vater syndrome. I've had several operations throughout my life, and my passion and mission is to help others with illness. Providing dreams for others keeps me going every day. It keeps me at the hospital, it makes me feel better to help other people, and keeps my mind off my own illness. We've done meet and greets, we've done parties, we're working right now on Mommy's Bucket List. We've done weddings, bedroom makeovers, anything that you could dream of. We're not just an organization. People jump on board and they want to help, they're just like family. I know that I can call somebody, one of my volunteers at 3 o'clock in the morning and say, hey, I have a dream that I need to put together, get up and start searching, and they do, and it's amazing. After we're done with the dream and to see the outcome of the family or the individual is absolutely amazing. The smile on their face just brings such joy to everybody around.
I want to thank you all tonight for having me here among so many wonderful people. Everybody here on stage, how could I even compare? Everybody in the audience, all the other 50 members of this wonderful award, it's an honor, it really is. When I was born, they told my mom that I wouldn't make it, that I'd never walk, that I'd never talk, that she should probably start playing the piano for me. So, they did. My grandmother went and made funeral arrangements. But my mother she was 18 years old, she said, my baby's not going to die, she's going to live. And I did. Over 45 operations later, and still many more to go, I'm here. And I thank her for that. She's my driving force behind me. When I thought that I was going to give up, and I thought that I was different than other people because of some of the things that I overcome, she says, you're not different. You're not different than your sister, you're not different than the people on the street, you're the same. And she treated me like that. And I want other people that we help, and I tell this to every person that I come in contact with an illness, you are not different. You are the same as everybody else, you just have some type of different difficulty. But so does everybody else, no matter what it is. Everybody has a story. When I was young, I used to give my balloons away and my presents and everything because I wanted to help everybody else. I was always looking for other people to help. At the hospitals, everything. At 15 years old, I went in for a major surgery and had some trouble recovering, and I said to my mom and my family, if I make it out of here, I'm going to help other people. I'm going to really take off, and I'm going to start helping other people when I graduate. 17 years old, in 2005, I started Jamie's Dream Team. With only one dream and my grandmother's checkbook. I really honestly thought that she was like, well, okay, and she didn't know where this was going to go. It went somewhere. We've helped over 500 families for the last 7 years. And it continues to grow every day. I have a new family now. 2 years ago, maybe 3 years ago, no, 2 years ago, I'm sorry. A woman called me out of the blue and she said, my son, he decorates my house every year. He volunteers his time. And he went out, and he's my age, his name's Tim Harf. And he goes and he puts all his money away. And he decorates his house and he collects donations for organizations and he wants to help you. I said, oh my goodness, this is wonderful. This is like the biggest donation we've got. Okay. Well, that lady, Cindy Harf, nominated me for this award, and she's like my second mother now. And she's absolutely amazing. I will call her at 3 o'clock in the morning and say, Cindy, we have something to do, and she'll say, well, let's get it done. And even though my mom, I wake her up too, and I'll say, hey, we have something to do, and she'll say, just go back to sleep, it'll be okay. So, I mean, she tells me no, and who do I go next to? Cindy. Cindy's like, okay, I'm on board, let's do it. Kentucky. I went to Kentucky in December. There was a little boy there, we were contacted in November, and his house was full of black mold. They had to take everything out. He was on ventilators, and so on and so forth. And they said, we need our house done. I said, this little boy's going to be able before Christmas. My whole board said, you're nuts. There's no way. I said, yeah, I'll do it, just you'll see. So, within 24 to 48 hours, I had all the wood donated, and all the materials and building supplies, and of course, Cindy was on board. And away we went to Kentucky with probably 20 volunteers. These volunteers become like a family to me, and I want to thank them so much for everything that they do, for dealing with me especially, because I know that I'm not the easy person to deal with. I'll just tell them to do this and then do this at the same time, and they don't even know where to go. Poor Tom, he also nominated me for this award, which I met him, and he was, in a weird way, actually, on the internet. I'm not weird internet dating. I had surgery in 2011, and I was so against having the surgery. And I'm still against having the surgery because I'm going to get it fixed, we'll say. But this surgery brought me so much good. I met Tom, and he had an illness too, and he said, hey, I'm going to help you. And I said, okay, but he was going to help me personally. And when I started telling him about my organization, he said, I never heard of you. What do you mean you have this organization? I never ever heard of you. I said, well, I do, and I help people, and we've helped almost 400 people. Like, why have you never heard of us? He says, okay, we'll do something about this, he said. And he was so like, I'm not going to help this girl. She's crazy. Well, he jumped on board, and he has done absolutely amazing things for Jamie's Dream Team, and I thank you, Tom. You probably never hear me say that again. He's recording it, I see him. But he's one of my backers too, and so is my grandmother, and my sister, and my mother, and my family, and my friends, and Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh's amazing. This community, the media, everybody involved, and all of you out there that have done wonderful things, thank you so much, and thank you. Thank you for having me this evening.
Our stage is on the way out. The support of Jamie and her work to make dreams come true for others, the Snavely Family Fund has agreed to donate $1,000 to Jamie's Dream Team.